Would you please direct the witness to answer the question?
Answer the question, Miss Howard.
Certainly, Your Honor, but would you ask Mr. Lansing to repeat it?
Mr. Lansing?
On the afternoon in question, Miss Howard, did Mr. Corinthos make a phone call?
Yes.
What was the nature of
I
that
have
call?
no idea.
You couldn't hear him talking?
I am not in the habit of eavesdropping on my guests. Mr. Corinthos was on the terrace.
Did he make any reference to Lorenzo Alcazar?
Objection, Your Honor. She's just said she doesn't eavesdrop.
Overruled. Answer the question.
I didn't hear any references to Mr. Alcazar or anyone. In fact, I barely remember the call, but I can assure you, Mr. Lansing, had I overheard the order to commit murder, I most certainly would have told the police. But in all fairness, I do toss the term murder around with great abandon, especially at work. It's always, it's kill the story, kill the shot, I'm gonna murder my assistant, you know, that sort of thing.
Did Mr. Corinthos speak in a threatening manner on the call?
Not that I remember. I didn't notice a thing. But again, I am also making several threats on that very terrace. You know, tell so-and-so to call us back, or their history, or give us the inside scoop of your next line, or we'll bury you. I often use that type of dialogue in front of Mr. Corinthos, and no one has ever accused me of arranging a murder.
Sir, witness.
Miss Howard, on an average day at work, how many phone calls would you say you receive?
100, perhaps 150.
Have you ever received phone calls in the presence of Mr. Corinthos?
Yes.
Have you ever made phone calls in the presence?
Yes, I know. It's rude, but deadlines are deadlines.
Other than the phone call in question, has Mr. Corinthos ever received phone calls in your presence?
Yes. We both talk on the phone a lot.
Has he ever made phone calls in your presence?
Yes. And to my knowledge, none of them have ever involved an order to kill anyone.
The more nervous you are, the more it will look like you have something to hide. You don't understand. My husband's gonna be in the courtroom. Take it that's a problem? Yeah, he doesn't really approve of my friendship with Jason. I can't really blame him. Look, he's a cop. Jason's a gangster who has a knack for showing up when you need him the most. It has to be difficult for Lucky as a man, if nothing else.
Elizabeth Spencer?
Yes. Give him hell. Thanks. I'm Amelia Joffrey. I take it you're a witness for the prosecution?
You could say that. I saw Jason Morgan carry Lorenzo Alcazar's body out of his house, dump it in a truck, and drive away.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You may be seated.
Your Honor, just to be clear, the witness was formerly married to Mr. Lansing.
I made no attempt to hide that fact, Your Honor.
Fine. Proceed.
Thank you. Mrs. Spencer, how long have you known Jason Morgan?
For years.
How many years? 3 years, 5 years, 10 years?
About 10?
Do you consider Mr. Morgan a friend?
Yes.
On the afternoon in question, where were you?
In the hospital.
Why?
I had just given birth to my son.
And did you see Mr. Morgan that afternoon?
Yes.
He came to visit, correct?
Yes.
Did Mr. Morgan receive a phone call during that visit?
Yes.
What was the call about?
I don't know.
Well, did you hear any part of the conversation?
Yes.
What did you hear?
Jason said he was on his way.
Do you know who the phone call was from?
No.
Did Jason characterize the call in any way?
No.
Well, what do you think the call was about?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Overruled. Answer the question.
I assume the call was about business.
Mob business.
Your Honor,
Mr. Lansing, you know better. The jury will disregard.
I meant coffee business. Jason imports coffee. That's what I think the call was about.
Jason Morgan has saved your life on more than one occasion, is that correct?
Yes.
So Matter of fact, he brought you to the hospital when you were in labor with your son, Jake. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us how that came about?
Jason found me passed out on my living room floor. I was bleeding and he got to me just in time.
Just happened to be stopping by.
Well, a storm was moving in and he wanted to make sure I was okay.
Does Mr. Morgan often visit you at your home?
Sometimes?
Once a week?
No.
Once a day?
No.
Every night?
Objection.
Overruled.
No.
When Jason does stop by to visit, glad to see him.
Yes.
Why is that?
He's a friend.
Close friend?
Yes.
How close?
Close. But I have several close friends.
You ever been to dinner with him?
Yes.
Go to parties, social events, that sort of thing?
No.
Helped him hide out from the law?
Objection, prejudicial.
Have you ever helped
Same.
Mr. Morgan when he was injured?
Objection's vague.
Have you ever helped Mr. Morgan? Have you ever saved his life?
I don't know.
Fine. I'll move on. Mrs. Spencer, have you ever visited Mr. Morgan at his penthouse?
Yes.
Why?
Because we're friends.
You spend the night, Mrs. Spencer?
Yes.
Have you ever had sex with Jason Morgan?